President Trump welcomed Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the White House for the first time since taking office. After a series of meetings, the president said the future of America's partnership with India never looked brighter.
I'm proud to announce to the media, to the American people, and to the Indian people that Prime Minister Modi and I are world leaders in social media. We're believers, giving the citizens of our countries the opportunity to hear directly from their elected officials and for us to hear directly from them. I guess it's worked very well in both cases.
Now, the two leaders pledged to work together despite their differences over trade and immigration. Let's talk about the key issues in this relationship with Joe Krier, president of Krier Wealth Management. This is actually very interesting because there are two issues involving India that seem counter to some of the things that Mr. Trump has talked about in the past. We outsource a lot of jobs, and then there's the whole immigration issue. Yet the president yesterday asked for a removal of barriers over U.S. exports.
Yeah, and Prime Minister Modi has been pretty big on pushing Trump in that direction and reminding him that, hey, we're all in this together, and lower cost goods produced and assembled in India does help the U.S. economy, as does immigration from India, which there's an awful lot of tech companies in India that need those H-1B visas in order for their executives and so forth to travel back and forth. And by the way, his comment about leaders in social media is that Modi is second only to Trump on Twitter followers. Trump has 32 million, Modi has 31 million. So these guys connect on kind of a different level than a lot of world leaders ever have.
Yeah, and this prime minister has really been very effective in bringing about dramatic change for India.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive what he's done. He actually ran his campaign based on an anti-corruption platform, and he's looking to be uncorruptible. That seems to be the word globally. And, you know, we're not saying all Indian politicians are corrupt. Some people will say all American politicians are corrupt. But the big thing that was going on in India was that the society was largely a cash-based society. 80% of all transactions were conducted with cash. And in November, Modi, with a 12 days notice, said that all 500 and 1,000 rupee notes will be canceled effective by the end of the year. And it created a mad scramble in India, but what happened was 122 million bank accounts were opened in less than a week, and the society has kind of rolled along with it since then.
So with these major initiatives that the Prime Minister has brought about, how does it impact and benefit the U.S.?
Yeah, it helps bring India into the economic fold. I mean, just like China, there was a good chunk of the economy that was basically being run by 10 to 20% of the population. And what India's done effectively is bring the other 80% of people into the economic fray. And that makes it so that there could be more job openings in India, more competition for the U.S., and it has President Trump sitting up in his chair saying, hey, not only can we compete with these guys, do business with them, but we can also learn an awful lot from what India is doing here.
So this is a game changer for both nations.
I think it really is. And, you know, if you look at Donald Trump's growth as a person and as a president over the last 6 months, some people will say he hasn't grown at all, but this kind of a meeting where he has no choice but to acknowledge what India has to offer the world, that's a pretty big deal. And I think it sort of smooths out Trump's hard line on so many issues a little bit, and that can only be a good thing.
And does that send another signal to other trading partners?
I think it does. You know, if you're going to be part of the world population where India and China have about 60% of all the people on Earth, you better sit up in your chair and you better pay attention and you better cooperate with that block of Earth, or you're going to be left behind.
Joe Krier, thanks very much. If you'd like to revisit this interview and get some perspective on, you know, the context and perspective of that meeting with the Prime Minister of India, look on the morning show page of news4jax.com along about 10:30 or 11 o'clock this morning, and you can listen to Joe's comments once again.